The best way to document the behavior is with a behavior data log. This will break it down into the precursor and the trigger that started everything, and then as well as what wound up happening as far as a behavior, and did you use redirection, or what technique you did use to de-escalate the situation. Now, this data log should be used by all caregivers, and they should all understand how to fill this out, which I'm going to show you right now. So let me show you a few examples and pull it up, and make sure at the end of this lecture to download these. There are examples and blank forms, so you can put these in your grab and go book. So if another caregiver is taking care of the individual at a different location other than home, they can document and also see the documentation of how to handle certain behaviors from previous data that was entered. So here we go. Let me show you some examples. The behavior log is set up with the trigger, precursor, prevention, behavior, intervention, and a notes column. In our first example, we're going to use sensory. As it's too sunny outside, and you notice the individual is squinting as the precursor, the prevention technique is putting on sunglasses, and there was no behavior or intervention required because the prevention was done, so no intervention is required. And it's a good idea to always have the sunglasses, especially in the grab and go kit, because this will work when you're away from home. Now the next example, sensory of dog barking. So if there's a dog barking as the trigger, then you'll see the precursor is the individual is covering their ears. The prevention technique is to put on headphones. Now you could redirect the individual, but in this situation we're putting on headphones, and again the prevention technique was done in enough time that there was no behavior or intervention required. And it's a good thing to put in the notes how long the precursor took to show from the dog barking, which in this case was 2 minutes. The reason why time is important is because you can see how quickly you need to attend to it before the individual can escalate to a behavior. Now in the next example we have environmental, such as a crowded line and the individual is stomping their feet as a precursor, and the prevention technique is with verbal calming. The behavior happened, yes. He laid on the ground and started kicking and yelling. The prevention technique did not work of the verbal calming, which then required the intervention of a verbal redirect, or for a few minutes of time in between doing the redirect, and this way the individual was able to pick out another food option such as pizza because there was less of a line in the food court. So that's what you would put into the notes. Now on the next example is a tangible, which is playing with friends' toys and they don't want to return it, kind of like stealing. The precursor is grabbing the toy and yelling that they want it and that they don't want to return it. Prevention is too late. It already took place. So the behavior is the headbutting on a mirror because you're trying to get this back, or the friend is trying to take it back. The intervention is placing a pillow between the head and the mirror, then using verbal redirecting again to do that. So the safety aspect is to put the pillow by the head. Again, you don't want to try to grab the individual. We want to try to use other techniques besides physical grabbing. And to put in the notes, avoid letting his friend bring the toy over. Sometimes it's a specific toy. In the next example, attention seeking, which is the caregiver is busy cooking. You see the individual's precursor by crying while biting their lip. The prevention is to have him cook with me. There's no behavior because I got the individual involved to cook with me. And so no intervention was required. Again, having the individual help you with things can actually prevent the behavior. It might take you more time, but it works. So in the notes, the individual likes to mix things in the bowl, so that's very easy for him to do. The next one is a sensory of a loud siren outside. Again, you notice the precursor of covering the ears. Prevention is too late. The individual is yelling and jumping. Verbal redirect to watch in the den some TV. And then favorite channel is Animal Planet in the notes. Now, at this point, you've been through all the meats categories, and now you know what triggers and prevention and behaviors and precursors are. You download and print out this behavior log where you can put it in the grab and go book. This way it's with you when you're away from home, and other caregivers can reference this, and everyone should be on the same page by using the behavior log. And that concludes the behavior log section.